It's Robert Cerins, May 27th, 09, and
Judy Stafford.
Something that is worth listening to. So, Judy?
So, Couch and Green Community, which is an environmental nonprofit here in the Valley, has been around for almost 10 years now, dealing with all sorts of different environmental issues, trying to educate our community about what we can do to make some positive change. So in that light, on June 19th, 20th, 21st weekend, we've set up an environment conference called Seeds for Change, and there's going to be a total of 8 internationally renowned speakers coming to Duncan for an amazing weekend filled with lots of inspiration and positive ways that we can deal with some of the climate issues that are definitely on the radar for.
Speak.
Well, I think one of the major components of this conference is that the focus is about hope and about vision and about making dreams a reality. To bring together a group of people who would somehow inspire and engage everyone on the positive sides and the things that we can do to combat some of the issues that we're facing as a community. So we're starting off very exciting to have Simon Jackson, who's an environmental youth speaker, and he, since 13, went on a quest to save the spirit bear, the kimono bear, which was becoming extinct. And he went on a little mission all by himself and engaged a large following, and now 13 years later he goes around and talks to youth about what they can do to make a difference. So he's going to come on Friday and speak to a couple of groups of school children.
So he's proving that one person did make a difference.
Yes, totally. That's very inspiring, and I think that one of the big things we need to do everywhere and as a community is to engage our youth and our young children. So Friday night will be the opening reception, wine and cheese, and our first keynote speaker will be Guy Dauncey, who is a local speaker from Victoria, and he's quite well known. And his whole chat is going to be about visioning and how we can become sustainable as a community, and that's going to start off. Saturday is going to start us off with amazing food for breakfast, since one of the focuses of our entire weekend is to eat as much local food as we can, and rhubarb and berries will be in season. So
nice. Local food.
We're going to have a beautiful breakfast.
Low mileage.
Very low mileage. Then we're going to head right into hard-hitting economics 101, building a sustainable couch, and from a monetary standpoint, which is presented by Donna Morton. She's coming up from Victoria, and she's very knowledgeable and has amazing insight in how to just tweak some of our our economical policies and how we can leverage our money a little bit more sustainably. So that's going to be very interesting. We're pretty excited to have her come up. Next on the agenda is Don Genova, who's also coming up from Victoria, and his presentation is going to be about slow food, sustaining our agriculture, and putting a real big plug in for eating more local food and what that means to us as a community and as a global climate, about how we need to really support local food growing, local agriculture. And within that, of course, we'll be providing an amazing local food lunch. And the last presenter on Saturday is going to be a gal who's coming out from Toronto, and her name is Vanessa Ferguson, and she's just a bundle of inspiring energy.
I've never heard about her.
She spent a year making one green change so she's written a little book about that experience, and so she's going to come and really help drive home some of the small things that all of us can do that make huge impacts. And the last day will be an extraordinary day as well, starting off again with great breakfast and leading right into Chris Turner. Chris Turner is coming from Calgary, and he's also a writer for the Globe and Mail and has written a couple of books, and his book, Geography of Hope, is really actually the driving force that inspired this entire conference. I was fortunate enough to actually read his book last year and do a book review on it, and that's how I got to know what he did. And for 18 months he traveled the globe looking for sustainable communities, looking for places that really were doing things right, and he found them.
Wow.
And it's incredible to listen to his stories on where he's been, where in India they're putting in solar panels, and where in Denmark they've created entire communities that are off the grid.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be a very inspiring start on a Sunday morning. And after that, our next speaker of the day will be Michael Ableman, and he's been a keynote speaker all over the States and in Canada as well. He lived in California. He lives right now on Salt Spring Island, and we're so fortunate to have him here. He's also written a book, Field of Plenty, and he's going to really talk about agriculture. He was also on the film Island of the Edge that was produced last year about the state of agriculture on the valley, actually on the entire island. And he's going to really drive home the point that we need to support our agriculture. Really, we need to look at what's happening with the state of farming, how to make farming sustainable. How he talks about making farming sexy. And Barbra Lett, who lives in Vancouver right now, he spoke at a conference in Kelowna. And we heard about what had happened at that conference and how he had a standing ovation, and people were so excited about what he had to say that we asked him if he would also come. And he's incredibly inspiring, and he's gonna sort of take everything that's happened over the weekend, and his presentation is called Bringing It Home. We're gonna take all the suggestions and bring it all together and focus as a community on how we can land some of the things that have happened over the weekend. And it's going to be an incredible finale to the weekend. And we're also going to tie in a few things here and there. Couch and Green Community has been asked by a group in Victoria to be a pilot for a couple of different models, one called Transition Town, and that's really important. Peterborough is the only official transition town in Canada at the moment. It's a movement that started in the UK, and basically it's about how we set ourselves up to deal with peak oil and climate change. The resilience model is also a sort of a bigger model on basically how we as a community are going to learn how to sustain ourselves, and both of those models will be talked about at the conference as well, because I think it's important to kind of tie all that in together and set ourselves up in the Cowichan Valley to be a model for the rest of Canada and the rest of the world. We totally can do this. We have the most beautiful place on earth right here.
And we have the most perfect people for it.
We have an amazing community.
A place where the community can actually meet some of the people that are like-minded and want to help our environment and to create what we're talking about is a community that's connected.
About anything if we really come together as a group. If we learn to work together and build community. If I have water and you don't have water, I can share my water. If you have food and I don't have food, these are basic sort of things, but if we work together, then all the other issues of housing and inequities can all work out and be shifted and engage people in a much more meaningful way of sharing with your neighbors. And again, among everything else, is to inspire community to come together and work together.
And what is it called, this whole conference?
It's called Seeds for Change.
Seeds for Change. When's the date?
June 19th, 20th, and 21st. And 2009. Amazing value. It will change your life. We guarantee that. We really do guarantee that.
There's a lot of important people coming to this, from what I'm gathering.
This is such an opportunity to have these amazing people come.
Well, it's a pleasure to hear the story, Judy, from the green community. Cowichan Green Community is something that's growing in our community really fast right now, and I'm glad that you took the time to come visit.
Thank you.